Calling here. So welcome to call number 9 of In-Body Potency, Out-Creating the Matrix. Call number 9, holy cow. I'd like to actually just start out by having Rosie do her, I keep wanting to say invocation, and I didn't ask you what you called it today.
Attunement and activation.
Attunement and activation. So I will turn it over to Rosie.
Yay. Thanks, Jaden.
Yeah.
So I'd like to invite everybody to let your body wiggle and get comfy, and if possible, to kick off your shoes and put your feet on the floor and just drop into your breath. And breathe into your body, every cell. And as you're breathing and filling your whole body and being with that breath, let it just release any distraction, chaos, judgments, whatever. And just breathe into this moment to be fully present in your inalienable essence. I was going to say 100,000. 100,000% in body, 100,000% in inalienable essence. Whoa. And then breathe through your feet into the center of the earth. And allow yourself to receive from the feminine consciousness of the earth all that you require, all that your body requires, all energy, flexibility, flow, relaxation, to just be present on this call. And if you have forgotten to mute yourself, maybe you could do that too. And then let yourself expand out, and just as far out as you want to. Just expand, 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 expand out there. And just let yourself breathe in and receive from every molecule of however far out there and big you've got. Everything you desire and require. And if there's any fractures out there ready to just pop back in, any life force ready to come back, just breathe it in. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. And I want to just take a minute to share something that feels really pertinent to this call this morning, to this attunement. We've been noticing over the last week and a half that while we used to be having 2 eggs a day from our 4 chickens, we were down to 1, and we're like, what's going on here? They must be laying someplace else. And sure enough, this morning, we found a nest with 6 eggs in it that they had created out in the palms. And I'm just aware of, isn't it interesting that our chickens are out of the box? And isn't it interesting, or is it interesting, have we all been always out of the box and creating out of the box? So can you just take a minute to appreciate all the ways that you have been creating out of the box, that there really has been no way to make you be the object of an experiment and keep you in the experiment, because you are just we are just too much out of the box. And breathe that in and let it just kind of tingle in you. And now I'm going on to another little story. Yesterday, I was coming back from a class that I go to, and this major warning light was going on in my car as I pulled in the driveway. The major warning light, major systems are in trouble. You have got to stop driving now and go take this car to the dealer. So I thought, isn't this interesting? So I called up and I made an appointment for the car, and I found out, well, what's the worst that could happen if I kept driving it with all these signals on? And well, the steering could be a little rough. Okay, well, I can deal with that. So I went driving into town to do some errands, and I just started singing to my car, and just kind of a love song, just like loving her up, and just, this car has been so amazing. I love my car. And so I just sang to my car. I just wanted her to know that, you know, whatever's going on, I'm sure it could shift, and she's been great, and just was remembering all the wonderful things that have happened as a result of having this car and how grateful I am. And I came back, and the lights were still all on and everything, and then, I don't know, a couple hours later, Jaden and I were getting in the car to go in town, and he turns on the car and he says, well, what did you do? And I'm like, well, what do you mean, what did I do? He said, well, there aren't any warning lights on in this car. And I'm like, oh, really? And so I want to also just have you get in touch with, what is it that what is the magic that you are doing that you may not even be paying attention to? And how is that magic that you're doing changing things? And how is it changing everything in whatever little things that are changing? And I've been noticing, and I'm wondering if you're noticing, that as a result of the loving energy Jaden puts into this class, and the amazing love and creativity and nurturing of all of you on Facebook, in the homeplay, on that extra call that Marilyn is doing on Wednesday, that something is changing in all of us. And what if that's also going on a really massive scale? I know myself, I feel more able to give myself over to a flood of gratitude and feel more ease and delight. And is that part of why we just have always fallen through the cracks of the matrix box? And what if we've just always been way showers? And that's why we're here now in body? And that's why we found each other? So just take a last minute here and expand out again. And notice all your way-shower fragments across all time, space, realities, and dimensions that somehow got lost. And just bring them back in so that all of you can be more of all of you, the way-shower that we all are. And then notice the other way-showers out there who may be in body, may not be in body, and acknowledge them and let them know that they are a part of outcreating the matrix. They're part of us. So from that space of expansion and connection within ourselves, with each other, let us wiggle our toes, wiggle our fingers, shake our booty. And Jaden, you're on.
Yay! Thank you, Rosie.
Thanks, Rosie.
You're welcome.
Let me do a little readjusting.
Oh.
There, let's see if that works. Yeah, that works. Ta-da. Okay.
Changed your shirt.
I did. Yeah, my body was like, this shirt
Blue
is
and brown. I thought so too. Hey, I just want to say that my warning lights aren't flashing nearly as much as they used to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign.
Cool. So, wow. Okay, so last week I gave you the assignment of reading two of my favorite articles, and that's by a man by the name of Cameron Day. And these articles were instrumental in me being here on this call, doing this program. They were like a foundational element. And so I was wondering why I was waiting this long, but there's a flow here. And so I'm just curious, how was those two articles for you? I'm looking for, like, what did that bring up? What did that do for you?
Yeah, Jaden, this is Max.
Yeah.
I really resonated with those because because one of the things that one of my friends has always done is called in the beings of light. And that never felt quite right to me. And then it was really interesting seeing about how, that's one of those things about how the matrix or manipulation could have perverted beings or corrupted them that actually originally did have our best intentions or thought they had our best intentions at heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And George tapped into it a little bit, but like when you start to see, like, for me, I spent 10 years being spiritual and studying all that dogma of what that's about. And it locked me down in a way that nothing on this planet has ever found a way to lock me down. So, like, there was something about the way that the false light operated that I just totally lock, stock, and barrel walked into it. And I became homeless and penniless and incapable and addicted to drugs. And, like, whoa, it rocked my world. But I was spiritual. Yeah, so thank you. Anybody else? What was your reaction to the article?
Jaden?
Yeah.
Yes, I liked it. Yet I still feel like it goes further, like that there are entities that are helpful. I'm playing with them. I feel drawn to it. Yet I never bought into this beloved stuff and this new age stuff. I'm asking more questions. And I kind of feel by default, like I check, like, how does the false light feel? How does it feel like from whatever, the other side, so to speak, whatever we call it, and it has a distinct frequency, and I feel it like almost instant. So it's very interesting and food for thought and experimentation, and yet I find it a bit like, in some capacity, even if I buy into most of it, meaning like I resonate, I find it a bit like entity, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which I have to process it, since I like dabble into those fields and play magic and sorcery. So it's cool. It's interesting.
And I think it is, just as you said, a invitation into asking more questions and greater awareness about the beings that we interact with. Because to say that we're here doing it ourselves is a fallacy. And to say that everything is working to our benefit is a fallacy. So it's like, wow, like how do you untangle that? And you do it by asking lots and lots of questions. Yeah. Thank you.
I've seen quite some fucked up light workers, and I never bought into them. So, and the magicians, they have more safeties going and like really calculating this kind of stuff into the equation, so to speak, that spirits are lying, that they sometimes give bad advice and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Thank you for suggesting.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else?
I got called a light worker often, but never felt comfortable with that. I always rejected it. But so one of the things, three of us had the opportunity to get together today, and I was thinking, we were talking about how there are maybe grey areas where it's not necessarily so easy to tell, is it false light, is it true light? And yeah, I'm still not 100% sure that I've got it right. And hopefully we can get clearer on that.
Yeah.
Would be very cool.
So a lot of it for me has been about asking questions. Like in my whole heavier lighter thing, one of the things that I noticed is that manipulation found a way to generate lightness in my body. And I was like, fuck, okay, so what do I do with that? So one of the things that I did for a while to untangle that is I ask, is this light or is this false light? Or I would ask, is this biology or is this something else? So I would start asking questions about that. The other thing that I want to kind of open up around that topic is, so there's false light and there's false heavy. So how many of you have ever engaged the paradigm of false heavy, making things wrong that are not wrong?
Yes.
Has anyone on this call ever done that?
Yes.
I didn't think anybody had ever done that. So it's like, look at all the conditioning we have around making ourselves wrong over things that we actually know what's going on, but we're still making ourselves wrong because that can't be true. Like the whole world can't be that messed up. Like it's got to be me, right? So it's like we've played in the energy of false wrong, and we know what that feels like, and it makes us kind of feel like crap. False light is the other side of that paradigm. So if you've played a lot in false wrong, you would likely engage false light. It's the opposite side of that duality. So just kind of feel into that as a, like, you have a lot of experience with what false wrong feels like. So allow yourself to tap into false wrong, the energy of false wrong. And now tap into the energy of false light. Like for me, false light has lightness to it and heaviness to it all at the same time. Yeah. Where light is just light. Like, so the other thing that I look at is when I look at my heavier and lighter, I don't just look at crude, is it heavy, is it light, or average that information. I look at the full spectrum of it. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to look at the full spectrum and where is it reading? Well, it's just up here. Or is it up here and down here? To me, false light has a thin bandwidth of light, and there's more heavy down there as well. So it's like I get both at the same time when I engage false light. The other thing I've noticed about false light is that it likes to play in emotions. And the way it likes to do them is through amplified emotions, usually bipolar. So the other thing that I noticed is when I was being spiritual and I was totally wrapped up in the false light, my emotions were bipolar. I, without labeling myself as bipolar, could totally identify to all the list of symptoms for somebody who's bipolar. I totally had all of that stuff. And I would go wham to this side and wham to that side and wham to this side. because I had bought into an expression of false light that is actually an amplified emotion. It's almost like, what if false light takes your natural emotions and doubles it or triples it or magnifies it? And this is going to be a little bit nebulous until you do the home play that I'm going to give you today. And that's to start looking at relationships. And I'm going to introduce you to a lady by the name of Evie Lorgan and some of her audio programs, where she's going to show you what manipulation looks like in a relationship. And one of the key elements of that is drama and these mood swings that go really high and really low. And what if that's also an indicator of false light? What if false light wants you to not be in that middle, simple space of emotion? It wants you to be either way on this side or way on this side. It's like when I first started doing access consciousness and becoming aware of things, I noticed that when I'm in the extremes of my emotion, information is hard to come by. Like when I'm high up on this or I'm low down on that, the details and the intricacies of awareness just aren't present to me. So how much does the false light wish you to be in a high or a low, so you're not feeling the spectrum in the middle where the more subtlety hangs out? So for me, the information that I engage now is all very subtle. And it hangs out in that space in the middle of the highs and the lows. I used to make myself wrong not too long ago about not going into these strong highs. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, who says that that's natural? And the more I started studying and exploring with false light, it wasn't so natural for me. So what does that bring up for anybody?
Jaden?
Yeah.
What about, like, being so aligned, being truly aligned, like projecting love, unconditional love, compassion? Isn't this like a natural antidote to false light? For me, like when I tuned into false light, it doesn't feel light at all. So, and
cool.
What is it? Isn't it like a frequency matching thing? Like when I'm really aligned and centered, that false light has less power over me, can't even kind of like frequency match me, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or us.
Yeah. I like that. For me personally, I had done so much with the false light around heart and emotion and love that got really tangled up for me. So that's an area of untangling for me still, personally.
So is false light really involved with a lot of magnetic imprinting?
That's been my experience. Yeah. And when when I get people that I'm untangling in a relationship and they're like, oh, I have this ex from like 30 years ago and I can't stop thinking about them. It's like chemical, electrical, magnetic imprinting would be the way Gary Douglas would talk about it. For me, I use it's identity and personality imprinting. Like that's a little broader spectrum for me. And it's like, wow, yeah, there's imprinting there that has me kind of distorted about my personality. And when you clear that in a person and you clear some other baggage that's around that relationship, that need, that bind just disappears. So yeah, I find that as an element too.
This is really helpful, this particular subject for me, because what you've just explained is very helpful. I'm finding that I do get lightness. I know, like real lightness sometimes, but it happens actually pretty rarely. And I'm finding like the vast majority of my lightness or heaviness is jumbled up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I really hope so I'm hoping that we can get clear on this.
So what would it be like if you took the lightness, like, so feel like the spectrum that you tap into to find lightness.
Yeah.
And now stretch that out so you're looking at it in a broader
Cool.
span. So instead of it like being in a band like this, it's like this, and you have to look down for heavy, and you got to look way up. Like expand that spectrum. That helped me a lot to untangle, because you start to see, wow, there's a frequency that manipulation always seems to land around here, and body lands in the whole range as you start to. How do I say that? I don't want to nail it down. Body lands however body lands for you, because body is very specific. Like, but what if body's coaching you the whole time? So body will do a variety of things. Like body used to do in the beginning, did a strong light and a strong heavy. But then after a while that disappeared, and body started to do a broader thing. And then it started to do it more delineated, like, so I could tell what was more neutral. So when body was kind of neutral about it, body wouldn't give me a heavier light, it would be more neutral. So body started giving me more information because I started opening up to that. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so. Especially the widening the spectrum. That sounds like it's going to be quite helpful. I look forward.
So for everybody on the group, allow yourself to tap into the space in which you scan or connect to for your determining, for your sensing what is heavier light. Okay, and now allow yourself to perceive all of the manipulations that are in there. Allow yourself to perceive all the blanking, all the places where something has inserted something to like gray out or black out an area, to didact an area so you can't see what's behind it. Allow yourself to perceive all of the mirrors and things that are adjusting the frequencies to make things look higher than they are or look lower than they are. Allow yourself to perceive all of the, what is that called? All of the bandwidth remodulations, bandwidth alterations, all of the frequency distortions, frequency adjustments, frequency adaptions, and what are all of the compensations that you've done to try to work around all of those? What are all the structures, constructs, adaptations, mutations, and systems that are between you and your body's natural organic system of communications? Wow. And everything that all that stuff is, can we just try and create all that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, reset, invoke, can't reclaim, announce, just trying to create vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, liquefy, vaporize, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Oh boy, good, bad,
Good, bad, right?
the name. Yeah. Anybody else have something on any of these topics? Okay. Anybody else have anything on any other topic that they'd like to throw in? Okay.
Jaden,
Yeah.
what's your hit on the word divine? Do you have?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that, say, when I'm calling in the feminine consciousness of Earth, all of a sudden the word divine slips in there, and I will kind of push it aside, and it keeps wanting to come in there, right? And it feels so manipulative. I notice Karen Day uses it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it feels like there's manipulation on it. that they have fucked with it or something.
Yeah. You can reclaim that word, but it's a word that the spiritual movement has really imprinted a lot of, to me, false light connections to. So to me, it's one of those words that equals manipulation. But you can reclaim any word by stripping that out. I actually prefer to do what you do, is to notice, oh wow, look at that. There's that word keeps wanting to be reinserted there. Okay, so that's a word that's got a lot of manipulation on it. And because what I do is a lot of communications with people, if I strip out that word and I start to use the word divine, then other people who have not stripped out that word, it does something different in their reality. So for me personally, I choose to avoid, like Gary Douglas does as well, to avoid certain words that are charged rather than reconditioning everybody on it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Other questions?
Yeah, Jaden, I was wondering if the stripping out of the words might have been something that I have when I was doing the simple life, because simple had some of that associated with it.
Yeah.
And so how do you go about stripping out those with a word like simple or divine or?
Yeah, so I'll run spectrum clearing, and I'll just keep looking for what are all the points of view I have around this word.
Cool.
I want to get to the point where that word is just like a word. Like, and I'll even compare it. Like, so what is divine? What is toilet paper? Or what is grass? Or what is, cloud? Or like, yeah, and just compare and notice what energy I have on it. Get it just clean. Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Are you opening it up to any subject, or I'm not sure what the question is?
I open it up to any topic.
Okay. Are we going to do more in the whole class about bodies and stuff going up in the bodies?
Yes. So,
more.
Wide open.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, and it's actually the next topic up on deck. But what I've noticed as I work with people individually, it's like the arena is so tangly and so distorted that we could spend all of our calls dancing around distortions and tangles to look at specific issues, or I could get you to a space of consciousness or I could invite you to a space of consciousness where you can just see through all those.
Yes, please.
So what I've elected to do is to put the specifics in the body manual. And there is minutia in there until the cows come home. And there's Marilyn's group that's meeting once or twice a week to dance with those issues and to look at that stuff. And it's been one of those things where, as I work with private clients and untangling their issues, there are places where I've spent months with people on untangling something, and it goes to this massive space where nothing makes sense until you get to that massive space, and everything kept leading us to that massive space. So it's almost like all of the questions and tangling and clearings that we did were sort of to get us to that big space. So the shift that I've done is, how can I get the whole group to a big enough space where you can perceive this stuff in the way that I do? So
that we can entangle the stuff the way that you do.
So you get to a point where it's almost not so much entangling. It is, I guess it is. A lot of it just falls away. Like as you get to a bigger perspective, and when you see where we're going to go today, you'll be like, whoa, I'm going to ramp you into another perspective that just blows the whole arena into a whole other realm, a whole other category of way of looking at things.
With the body. And
awesome. It's like the minutia around the body just resolves itself in so many different ways. So does that make sense? Like, yeah.
I would much rather go to a much bigger place for the whole group than sit and tangle into a couple places where, Cool. So awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Go. Any other questions? And thank you for asking that. I've not had I've not been able to put words to that yet. So that was very helpful. Thank you. So I hit, wow, where do I start with this? So in the beginning of the program, I alluded to the concept of, what if your body is an infinite being as well? What if you are an infinite being? And what if the body that you're in, the body that you're in between the molecules of, shall we say, that you're hanging with in this reality, also has a soul? I don't like that word for bodies, but I'm going to use it. What if your body also has a soul? And what if bodies naturally have not been infinite beings?
Say that again, not been infinite beings?
What if bodies, as they were
designed,
that's the right word, yeah, or that's the word that comes up for me. As they were designed, words. Okay, so somebody has both two devices playing there. So what if what your body is a being of the universe, is like a construct from within the construct of this universe? Okay, so I needed to get you to a space of looking at the universe from the universe level, and that's what George's materials were about. It's like, wow, how can we look at this whole thing not from an Earth perspective, not from a solar system, not from a galaxy, but from a universal perspective? So when you look at everything from, okay, here's this universal body that we as an infinite being came from outside the body of this universe, entered the body of this universe to play in this arena, to play in this really cool play space, to explore and to do whatever we came here to play in. And what if we encounter in here other beings who are from outside, who have come in, and we encounter beings in here who are from in here? They don't have a direct connection to the outside. They're a creation of this universe. So when you first entered your body, was your body an infinite being, or was it a being of the universe? What feels like to you?
Being of the universe.
The second one.
Both.
Okay.
Infinite.
Okay. And depending on when that happened and how that happened, that may be, as we go forward, we'll start to pull that apart more. It's like, so what if, like for me, when I came into this body was, wow, that's really emotional. I wasn't expecting that. When I came into this body was a being of this universe. And I tried to fit into this body. And it didn't so much work for me. And I struggled with that for a long time. And what I ultimately started to do is invite my body to becoming more than it had been, and to expand into being an infinite being. And somewhere along the line, I tripped over the concept that I have the ability to bestow life upon other beings. And I'm like, what is that? Like, I can give them life. And I struggle with that whole paradigm. And I thought, well, first, only women can give life, but I am a masculine and a feminine. So like, I get that's like that whole, it was outside of even that paradigm. It's like, what if you have the capacity to invite other beings into becoming an infinite being when they may just be originally a being of the universe? How many beings in this lifetime have you invited into expanding from a universal being into an infinite being? Wow. And all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 liquefy, 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 vaporize, make null, void, good, bad, and So how many beings, so truth, have you invited other beings to become an infinite being when they were previously a being, simply a universal being? And I'm not making one better or worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And get a rough number of how many beings have you interacted with that you've invited into being an infinite being?
Hundreds.
9,000.
Thousands.
170,000 I've got.
Get like 200,000 in this range.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's almost like you're giving them life beyond death in this universe. You're giving them life outside of this universe, which for some beings in this universe, they're not amused with that because they don't have that, and they're very unhappy that you're giving that away to other people, and they want to get it from you. They want to know, how do you do that? They want access to that power. They want access to that capacity. So all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around all of that and everything that brings up, can we destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, shirts, was the nights beyonds, and let all that go.
Jaden?
Yeah.
Can that be the reason for all the attacks I've been feeling all my life to my body and me?
All the what?
Attacks?
Attacks.
A sickness? Attack, yeah.
Does that feel light to you?
It lights up and there's something heavy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a piece of the truth there.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
You've got a piece of truth there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Just like, so I don't know if this is a story that I'm making up here. So and this feels emotional. I get so disappointed with people in that I could see their potential. Mm-hmm. And it's like they're not stepping up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like I have to hang back and wait for them. And I'm wondering if that's part of the invitation of inviting these universal beings to step into their infinite. Is that a story?
So let me ask you. Let me tell you. For me, okay. What I found is when I have that particular thing where I have this emotional response to witnessing something in another person, it actually isn't about that other person. It's about me.
Okay.
It's that exact same parallel to me. Like I'm not inviting me to stand in more of me. And that's why I'm so emotional about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I was saying that, I'm going, oh, mirror, mirror. Mirror on the wall.
Yeah. So like I had an experience just 2 days ago where like here I've got this program in Adelaide and I still haven't gotten the marketing materials out and I'm stressed out over that and yada 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 yada, and I'm like, there's not enough for me to I was finding that I didn't have enough time in my day. I didn't have enough of me available to do what was required to get done what I know I desire and am choosing to get done. And what I did was I made a demand of myself to have more of me be here in this body. And I also made a demand of my body. It was closer to a request, a strong request of my body, to have more of my body here in my body. And those two things, and I want to encourage you, everybody, and I'm not just talking to Sheila, everybody, is to make a demand of you, and who has multiple devices on, to make a demand of you to bring more of your life force, to bring more of your potency, to bring more of your being right here in this reality, in this body, fully embodied, right here, right now, 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000%, right now, right now, right now, permanently. No more off in other realities, no more off in other parallels and other dimensions and other bodies, creating another blah, blah, blah. Right here, right now, so you can have the strength and the potency and the clarity to be what you came here to be what you know you want to be what you feel bubbling up in you, but you don't seem to have a grasp of. What if that's what's required? Is you demand more of you and more of your body to show up, and we'll get more into what that component looks like. So what is everything in the way of you demanding more of you to show up right here, right now in this body? What is everything in the way of that? All the stuff, all the reasons, all the justifications, all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, all the form, structure, and significance, all the reasons and stories why you can't do that, or blah, 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 blah. Everything that all of that is, and all the allegiances, alliances, loyalties, and assemblies, all the divine agreements, golden agreements, billion-year agreements, entry agreements, exit agreements, signatories, and all the clauses of any kind, can we choose to destroy and create all of that shit?
Yes.
Do you choose that?
I choose that.
Yes.
I choose that. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 liquefy,
Liquefy. Good, bad, right, wrong.
No void, good, bad,
all
right,
nine.
wrong.
Hearts, boys, and beyonds.
And let all that go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now,
that's...
make a demand of yourself. I demand that 1,000,000% of me show up right here in this body right now. Do that.
I demand that 1,000,000% of myself show up in this body right now.
Right now. Absolutely.
And allow yourself to receive that, whatever that is. And I demand 1,000,000% of my body to be right here, right now.
I demand that 1,000,000% of my body to be right here.
1,000,000% of my body to show up right here, right now.
And receive.
Yeah. And
because I have people who are like, oh, I can't do this, and this doesn't work, and I can't get my heavier and lighter, and I can't do that. What percent of you is here? Oh, somewhere between 2 and 15. Well, fuck, there's not enough of you here. Why bother? Like, that's the attitude. Like, why bother? Like, whatever. Like, no, I demand. Like, and sometimes if you don't have a reason to be here, like, to call all of you here and not have a use for it, like, why bother? So for me personally, I do it the other way around. I create the demand first. I put myself out there in a stretch. Yesterday, what precipitated this recent topic was, here I've got the course that I've got coming in October that I still haven't gotten all the materials together, and we're close, but it's not as fast as I'd like it to be. And I just got invited to be in a telesummit, which involves more work, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, stop. That's a place for me to expand into more of who I be, rather than to cut out things because there's not enough of me to go around. I'm going to bring in more of me so I can accomplish that which I desire to accomplish. Do you see the difference there?
Yes.
So where in your life are you not creating because you're not taking a big enough step outside of your comfort zone to actually have a reason to call in more of you? And it's not about taking wacky ass, stupid, way the fuck out there steps that aren't logical or rational. It's like, what's the next biggest step for you that's a gulp? That's like, oh, wow, okay. So like in my reality, stepping into a teleseries, a telesummit, to being on that and what's involved behind the scenes in making that happen was just like, wow, too much work. No, but is that what I want? Yes. Have I been calling that forward? Yes. Is that a next logical step for me? Yes. So rather than going, no, there's not enough of me, and no, I'm too stressed out, it's like, I demand to have more of me here to handle that with ease and have time left over, and have time to play, and have time to have fun, and have time to relax. I demand more of me to show up so that all of this is possible with simple ease to my simple advantage right now. Do you feel the energy of that?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
What if that's the dance? So what does it take in your reality for you to have a big step that is your next step, that's sitting there waiting for you? You know it. You know it's sitting there. It's just like, well, someday I'll get to that. There's not, like, it's not time yet. There's not enough pieces in place. How can you step into that next step and then invite in demand that more of you show up to satisfy that and have space for ease on top of that? And all the shit, you, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that. Can we choose to just try and create all of that?
Yes, choose that.
Yes.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create vaporize, liquefy. Questions?
Clarification. Okay, so we exchanged an email yesterday, and you said those very words to me, and that was like a light bulb going on, because I thought that I wasn't supposed to be all here. I thought I was supposed to be out there and there and there and there. And it's like, what the fuck? How can I do that? And so, you know, when we talk about having pieces on this planet and that star system, and we don't want to do that. Do we want to call it home back in, or?
So, like,
do you know what
I totally get it.
Yeah.
So, like, you can take a slice of you and cut a chunk of you off and go plop it on a planet somewhere.
Yeah.
And have a whole life over there.
Yeah.
Or you can have you as the infinite being expand to include that planet and have an experience over there.
Okay.
The difference is it's the wholeness of you. You've reconnected to the wholeness of you. So, like, for me, when I listen to George Cavazos talk about, like, it's been this fracturing process, this process of breaking down and having all these different experiences of light and duality and all these different things in all these different places. And now and I'm looking at that as like, wow, so great. So there's all of me smattered all over all of existence. well, that's cute, but I feel scattered and I don't feel whole and I don't feel like I have enough of me together to be effective. But when I bring all of those pieces back in and I expand as the infinite being that I be and include that and all of it, like I don't need to put a fracture of me out there. I can just expand as the infinite being and embody this entire universe simultaneously and simultaneously be 100% present here.
Gotcha.
So Jaden,
yeah,
is that like since time is just a construct, so that's like you just being whole and you just stopping time and you can be over here doing this and then you are over here can now be over here whole doing this or doing that or doing whatever as an infinite being. So you're expanded out to do all of that.
Did
right?
you ever notice your capacity to multitask?
Yeah.
So what I noticed is one of my problems is if I don't have enough going on in my life, I start going out different places and multitasking. Like, what if who I be is so expansive and processes on such a high rate of speed and at such a level that if I'm not engaging enough things, I get bored. And then I start puttering around in other people's universes and I start fucking myself up. That's what I noticed about me personally, is that if I'm not engaging enough things, I go fuck around in other people's universe. I get wrapped up in their creations, which like isn't my place. Like that's their universe, that's their place to create and their place to play. Like if I'm playing my game and then co-creating with people who I enjoy co-creating with, that's like really juicy for me. Do you see that shift?
Also, is it a matter of not having to leave yourself in other universes of other people and other things and therefore fragment yourself, but include all of that and not lose yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, nicely worded. Yeah, feel that. Because it's like that's it. Like I'm coming from a whole space of whole me as the infinite being and interacting with everything versus this little piece of me that is going to go separate over here and go interact externally over there. One's inclusive and one is a cutting off of me. So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around all of this and anything else that we've engaged or brought up around this, can we destroy and create all of it?
Yes.
Yes.
That.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, yeah. So let me bring this back to the body again.
Jaden?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have one about the body. Please cut me off. Cut me off. It's,
okay.
It's out of the flow.
Thank you.
It was a bit too pressing, yet it feels useful too. So it is about the clone stuff. When I ask, or the copy stuff, I ask and I get like, this body is a copy. So part of me is like, okay, you just mentioned this infinite being thing. So I think, yeah, but which body? Is it maybe less worthy, so to speak, like than the original bodies? And this is what has been coming up in my universe.
Yeah.
How would you suggest treating this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
In my experience.
What's interesting is because I started the call with that, and like what you've done is you've come on a journey with me through my process. This is my life. Like this isn't a call. This is my life. This is how I dance. And so when we first started, I had just like that whole clone copy thing just blew my universe open. As I connected to an alienable body, I noticed I naturally left the whole question of clone copies somewhere else. I didn't even, like, every so often I'll question to go, was this an issue? And I just kind of disregard it. For me, what I'm in this moment now aware of is that when I connect to my body, I connect to my inalienable body. It's like that aspect of my body that cannot be fucked with or manipulated by anyone, that only me and my body have an access to, and no one and nothing else has any connection to. That resolves in my consciousness all of those other paradigms.
Cool.
So I would play with that. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, thanks.
That's yeah. And like and that actually leads right into where we're going. It's like, so truth, was your body, so I'm going to first say all the shit, you, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around anything that's been brought up so far. Can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
Yes, I choose this.
Yeah, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 liquefy.
Good, bad, right, wrong, BIPOC, all my choice boys and beyond.
Yeah, that's what she said. And so it's she's not sung that before. I love it. It's kind of catchy. Yeah, all right. We're gonna put that on the radio. Hey, all right.
It kind of goes with your dance, you know.
It does. It does. With the vaporizing dance. Yes. We'll do a video. It'll be all the rage. I know it will. So it's like, so tap into. Okay, that brought up all kinds of other stuff. So all the shaky, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, and everything that brought up, can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Vaporize.
I choose it.
Vaporize. Good, bad, PIPOC. Yeah, let all that go. There you go. Yeah. So it's like, before you engaged your inalienable body, before you engaged your inalienable body, was your body already an infinite being, or was it a being of the universe? Which feels lighter for you?
Universe.
Universe, being of the universe.
Anybody else?
Well,
Infinite being.
Okay.
it feels like multi-dimensional.
It is. It's not black and white. And
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
you can, there, and depending on where you naturally live and look, like you can perceive like it's always been that way. So like there's different ways. I just want to kind of take people from where they're at. So there's no right or wrong about that. It's just kind of notice what you notice. Like some people may have done this in advance. Some people may have done it in a different way, in another parallel reality, and a yada, yada, yada. I don't know. But like what I noticed for me is that my body was not originally an infinite being. It was a being of the universe. And at some point in time, I invited it to being an infinite being. So at some point, did you ever invite this body into being an infinite being?
Yes.
Anybody have a no?
I have a no.
This is Sheila?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that feel light when you say that?
Ask again. Did I ever invite this body into being
An infinite being.
an infinite being? Well, that's light now.
Yeah, because so all the manipulation that's around that, can we just try and create it all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good,
Yes.
bad, right, wrong, PIPOC, type. Yeah, let all that go. Wow. So what is all the manipulation around your capacity to invite other beings into being an infinite being? Hi there. And expand out, perceive more, because why not?
Can you ask that question again?
Yeah. So what is everything that is, I don't know if I can,
In
because
the way of your capacity to invite other beings into their infinite being.
Yeah. And expand out, perceive more. And expand out, perceive all of it. And everything that all that is, can we choose to just try and create all of that?
Yes.
So I choose that.
Yeah, 3 of us. Rescind, evoke, vaporize, liquefy. Good, bad, right, wrong, top box, should be beyond, so there we go. Wow. And just let all that. And let's bring in a univac. A univac.
Oh no, don't take me out. Don't take me.
You are so gone.
Yum, that tasted good.
Yum, 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 yum. So
That was an appetizer.
if you did invite your body into being an infinite being, at what age did you extend to your body the capacity to be an infinite being?
Ooh. One.
7.
I got 1.
I get 7 for some reason.
2.
I got just before I entered the body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get in utero.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. And so all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness around that experience, can we just try and create all that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I choose that.
Rescind, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, liquefy.
Good, bad, right.
Yeah. And did you perform the ceremony? Did somebody else assist you with it, or something else?
Me.
Something else.
Something else.
Myself.
Okay. Anyone who's got something else? Do you have a sense of what that something else is? Was it like a something else being who assisted you, or it was a different paradigm?
I get being, something else being.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
That is someone else being.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm just kind of opening this. This is new here. And at what age did your body fully accept its infinite being?
Last year. No.
In this moment.
Still working on it.
And it may be something that your body's still working on. And then
Tomorrow.
so at what age did your body fully accept its infinite being?
I got
How's my
one when I asked it.
Okay.
I got 48, but I am not 48 yet.
Cool.
I kind of I got the answers before you asked the question. Not sure if this is cool. This one I got 23.
Something there feels heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
35.
35?
27.
37? Wow. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around when your body chose to fully accept its infinite being. Everything around that, all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, DJCC's, pers, form, structure, significance, all the Wernicke's commands, booby traps around that, can we choose to just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes.
Rescind, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, liquefy, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, balance, let all that go.
Jaden?
Yeah?
Yep. I'm kind of getting that part of that has been fractured off. Something fractured off about that.
Yep, we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Got a lot of manipulation in there, or hidden. It's all hidden stuff.
Yep. So let's keep digging in there. So how many multiverses is your body currently seated in? So once you're
Seated or seeded?
seated, S-E-E-D-E-D. Okay. How many multiverses is your body currently seated in? Connected to, playing around in, exploring in?
43.
Between over 50 to 60.
Anybody else?
9.
9.
5.
5.
8.
8.
Diana said 44.
44.
47.
Chat.
Okay. So,
Diana said 11.
so all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around that, can we just try and create it all?
Yes, I choose that.
Make no void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyonds, vaporize, vaporize, vaporize.
12.
12. So I'm going to use this next word, beyondiverses, as a generic word for like something bigger than multiverses. How many beyondiverses is your body currently seated in?
100.
15.
90.
10.
8.
More than 500.
Karina got 92.
And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that, can we choose to just try and create all that?
Yes.
Yes, I
Rescind,
choose.
evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 liquefy, 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 good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, baby, yeah? And what percent of your body's desired fractalization has been completed? Has it completed so far?
Oh, for God's sake.
Desired fractalization.
Fractalization. It's not fracturing, it's fractalizing, like holographic exponentializingness of itself. What percent of your body's desired fractalization has it completed so far? It's an expansion process.
20%.
78.
32.
23.
And at its current rate of expansion, when is it due to reach 1,000%?
But he doesn't want us to know.
At the current rate of expansion, when is it due to reach 1,000%?
Next lifetime.
Okay, that felt heavy. 20?
Oh, okay. Good.
2020?
Next year.
Next year?
Get sued.
Diana said 1,000 years.
Yeah, that feels kind of heavy.
Less than 5.
5 weeks.
Less than 5 weeks?
There's
Tomorrow,
going to be
if I'm
some
willing.
interesting things at Adelaide.
Tomorrow? Oh, yeah. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. Yeah, or maybe you do. You do have an idea, apparently, yes. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Wow. I have no idea. I tap into stuff like this and I'm like, holy shit, like overnight. This came out last night or the night. Yeah, just recently. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And so all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this, can we just try and create it all?
Yeah.
Yes, I choose.
And all the weird energies I kicked up with my silly comments. Can we just create all those?
Yes, choose that too.
Make no void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, doctrines, but then beyond, vaporize, liquefy. So what happens when your body reaches 1,000% fractalization?
Watch out.
Fractalization. Just tap into that. And what will your life be like when your body reaches 1,000% fractalization?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It'll be divine, of course.
Okay, so don't think about it. Feel it. Tap into that. What will it be? What will your life be like when your body reaches 1,000% fractalization? Receive that.
It's radiant, expensive.
Yeah. And all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that. Can we destroy and create it all?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create. Vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, papakshas, beyonds. And what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to have my body reach 1,000% fractalization overnight with simple ease?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I choose that.
And receive? And you can choose whatever you want on that. I'm just kind of offering a possibility there. So it's like, as I work with people, okay, let me backtrack. I found so often I was making myself wrong because I had the viewpoint handed to me through other paradigms, through other modalities, that the body has it all together, the body has it right, the body like just so would be great if you weren't fucking it all up. If you, the infinite being, would get your shit together and didn't have all this baggage hanging out, your body would, you and your body could just sail off into the sunset. But no, you're fucking around with all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what I found is that there are a lot of times my body is not here. It's not about me not being in my body. I'm present with my body. My body is off somewhere else doing something else.
And so, Jaden, what does that look like
So
for you?
So pause.
Oh, okay.
So pause. So all the I will go there though. Remind me in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this, and everywhere that you're lining and agreeing with anything, any of these points of view, anywhere you're resisting and reacting to any of these points of view. Whoa. Anywhere you're defending for any of these points of view, trying to make it work. Everywhere you're resisting and reacting to any of these points of view. Anywhere you're righteous for any of these points of view. Whoa. Anywhere you're righteous against any of these points of view. Allow yourself to just put all that stuff out in front of you. Nothing below you, nothing behind you, nothing left or right, nothing anywhere else. All out in front of you. Take a step back. Nothing in your body. All out in front of you. And everything at all those really interesting, creative, and fun, enjoyable points of view are, can we just choose to destroy and create all those anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim,
choose that.
denounce, destroy and create, vaporize,
Liquefy.
vaporize, liquefy,
Vaporize.
vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad. We'll end up playing more with that, and I'll show you why in a couple minutes. So before I go answer your question is, on average, what % of your body is active here with you? And what % is busy off somewhere else?
50%.
Only 30 is here.
What is here?
Only 30% is here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That feels light.
Okay.
I get less than 10.
That feels light.
I get only 5%.
That feels light.
I get 50%. Was that light for you or not?
No, it was not.
Okay.
I get 60 and feel manipulation kicking in all of the time.
So at minimum, what percent of your body is here active with you, and what percent is busy somewhere else? Let's say what percent is active with you
5.
at minimum, at the lowest typical amount. No, at the lowest amount, at minimum.
5.
0.
2.
That felt light when you said that. You said 0 question mark? It was like, yeah, that's light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minimum,
And does that
maximum.
answer some questions you've had? Right there.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And at maximum, what percent of your body is active here with you? And what percent is busy somewhere else? At maximum, what percent is active here with you?
9%.
60.
70.
20.
That's light.
All of that?
77.
What else?
$10. Is that light?
Not
Good.
for me. Like, oh, good. So what number would be light?
Oh, it would be light. 20.
It's lighter. What's lighter than that?
I'm thankful.
Just throw numbers out.
30.
Don't think about it. 30? That's heavy. What's so
25.
25.
We have a 25.
25 has a lightness to it.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Better than I thought it was.
That's maximum.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what percent? So to answer your question about like what do I notice when my body's somewhere else, I notice that my life isn't as rich. I notice that things aren't as colorful. I notice when I have an experience, it's not this rich experience, it's a shallow experience. When my body is here, it's this rich, delicious, vibrant, expansive, no, not expansive, multi-bandwidth, multi-spectrum experience. The less my body is here, the less colors are in the rainbow, the less richness the rainbow has, the less vibrance the food has, the less
muted.
Things are muted. Things are not as
more connected too.
And I'm less. I don't feel as connected. I don't feel as connected to the planet. I feel connected to my infinite being, which before I wasn't connected to anything. I wasn't connected to my infinite being. I wasn't connected to my body, and I was just like, now I'm at least connected to my infinite being, and that's like solid. But it's like the earth isn't as full and rich in its interaction with me. That's some of the experience that I have.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around any and all of this stuff so far, can we destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, shit, my beyonds. So here's where some of the rubber starts to hit the road. So truth, what percent of your body's issues, that the things that you define as body issues, are a product of you, the infinite being? And what percent are a product of your body's process?
Boy, talk about going blank.
Whole body.
Wow.
So all the shit, cues, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around, all of that, can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you choose that?
I do.
I choose that. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, destroy, and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, beyond. And what are all the Wernicke's commands that are up and triggered and active here? What are all the booby traps that are up and active and triggered here? What are all the alters or fractures that have engaged programming here around this topic, because their job was to never have you start looking at this stuff and to never be aware of this stuff? And expand out and perceive more. Wernicke's commands, booby traps, programming, conditioning, fracturing, agreements, entry agreements, exit agreements, divine agreements, golden handcuffs, trillion-year agreements, all the structures, constructs, adaptations, mutations, systems, technologies, black meta technology, and magic around this. And everything, all that is, can we choose to destroy and create all of this?
Yes, I choose that.
Known and unknown and unknowable. Do we choose all that?
Yeah.
Choose all of that.
Choose it. Yes, I choose
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, vaporize, 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 vaporize,
Good,
liquefy, 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 liquefy. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha, beyond. Wow. 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 Just let all that go. Bringing it back. Univac.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we need a Beyond a Vac.
Beyond a Vac!
Yeah. Super duper heavy model.
Yep. And so, truth, what percent of your issues are of your body's issues are a product of you, the infinite being, holding on to viewpoints and weird stuff in your process?
I get 0.
That's heavy.
Yeah, very, very little, like less than 5.
Okay.
0.
And what percent, and if, like, when you look at how much fucking clearing you've done, does that make sense?
Yes. Starting to make sense.
I've been clearing nonstop for 6 years, or however long you've been doing it. So truth, what percent of your body's issues are a product of your body's process as an infinite being?
Body's process as an infinite being?
All.
What do you mean by that? Okay, just go with it.
Just run with it, and we'll talk about it.
30.
That feels heavy.
Heavy?
I get 70. 70, and the rest is missing.
70 and 70.
No, I had 0. I had 0, then 70, and where is the fucking rest? It has been taken.
Places took it away.
I want to file a report.
Stuff away.
A missing stuff complaint. Yeah. So all the shit
you've just compacted it.
Yeah, right. So, well, it's like there's way more going on. This is we're just scratching the surface. So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around, all of this, can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes, I choose
that.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 liquefy, 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 liquefy.
Good,
Make
bad,
null,
right.
void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, aksha,
Liquefy.
So I want to continue going off into some strange spaces here. So what percent of your body is undergoing an inverse process from yours? Inverse, inverted.
Can you just say that again?
Yep. What percent of your body is undergoing an inverse process from yours? Backwards from you. Inverted.
Like unevolving.
A what?
Unevolving.
Unevolving?
Yes.
I don't understand that.
It's like
Unevolving.
Devolving?
No, it's no, it's no, it's like
Just going in the opposite direction.
it's just going in the opposite direction. Like you've done a lot of things over here and your body hasn't done anything over there, so it's going in this direction here. Like it's doing its own process, but it's going in a direction that's almost opposite of what you've done. So
Yep.
So what percent of your body is undergoing an inverse process from yours? And all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around this. Can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes.
Yeah, resentable, can't reclaim, renounce, vaporize, vaporize, liquefy, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, So truth, what percent of your body is undergoing an inverse process from yours?
95? Is that possible?
Feels light.
I get
Oh,
100.
for fuck's sakes. No fucking wonder.
Who else got something?
Yeah, somewhere in that vicinity.
100.
100?
Or a bit less, maybe.
Are you going to help us with this?
Yeah. Unless you want to show us
Oh,
I am helping you more than you know. Anybody else have numbers on that?
I get 10.
Diana
your
got
light?
60 to 80.
50, 80?
60 to 80, and Karina got 90. I think that's...
90?
I was getting 60, and I've been out pretty much this call. So
Yeah. You came in the middle of this going, oh my God, what is this? Welcome back. Yeah. So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
I choose this.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong. Can you tell as we meander into this topic, this is not a well-worn path?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we talk about it at dinner all the time.
Yeah, so it's like how much of the that's going on is simply because we're venturing into area that's just not been ventured into before. Right? Like it's not an ineptitude on your part, it's just there's a lot of stuff up there.
So, Jaden, would this be choice or manipulation that we're inverting or whatever?
So are you making it a wrongness? Are you making it something that is operating to your simple advantage with simple ease?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay, I'm going to work with that. because making it a wrongness.
Wouldn't, if you're in this team relationship with your body, wouldn't your body be doing things to maximize its advantage to help the two of you get to where you're both seeking to go? And yes, it might be a bizarre process, and it might be like I don't know. Honestly, this is the first time I've ventured into this. So we're making this shit up as we go along. But I've come to many times I've gotten the message over the years. Like I noticed something and it's like, whoa, I'm going the wrong direction, and I'll get guidance, my guidance that goes, no, that's something else operating in the opposite direction. Like that's some aspect that's going, that has an inverse process to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. In other words, it's supposed to be that way. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, but I noticed that. I'm aware that there's something that's going in the opposite flow of what I'm going in. And I question it. But the more awareness you have, you can start to go, oh, maybe that's what that was. So let me keep going. So what percent of your body is undergoing the same process as you did?
I get 95.
That feels a little heavy.
You did or are?
You did. The question is, as you did. Like the path you've taken.
And now your body is following you? Is that kind of it?
What percent is your body undergoing the same process as you did?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bigger.
I get 50%.
It feels like.
100.
That feels like.
70.
Simple advantage.
Simple. Anybody else?
70?
Yeah, that feels light.
It just feels yuck to me.
What, the whole topic?
No, just this question.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
else I could get.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, it just went, blah, but I get a percent.
See, the dogs are agreeing.
So, have you ever spent time and so I'm gonna questions on this. Like I'm just blowing open chunks right now. I'm just hacking.
So we're at 15 minutes before the end of the call.
Right.
Thank
so
you.
Can we ask
Well,
questions?
Just saying.
We started late because we did all the other stuff. So
Yeah. I'm
thank you.
saying.
So extend that another 15 minutes. Because we're getting close to the end of my list here. So are there questions on like what comes up for you about where we are so far?
Well, the last one kind of threw me. I'm kind of not sure where you.
So it's kind of like the opposite of like, so if where your body's undergoing an inverse process from yours.
Right.
And where is your body undergoing the same process as yours?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe it was just a silly question. So where is your body undergoing the same process as yours and not an inverted one?
It almost feels like 50-50.
Cool. Anybody else? What percent of your body's undergoing the same process as you, not inverted? Yeah. That's okay. Everybody else is sleeping. So,
Hey,
all
took 'em out.
the sicky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all this. Can we just try and create it all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, vaporize, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong. Pop action. Yeah. Okay.
Karina says 30%.
30%. Cool. My objective here was to get you to realize that what if your body is busy doing infinite being stuff now? And there is a whole lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that your body is not necessarily here for. And so one of the things that I've noticed that I've gotten into a habit of is when I'm doing something where I desire or require more of my body to show up, I will call my body in. I will say, okay, what would it take for 1,000% of my inalienable body right here? See, to me, body is not this. This is something else. This is my body. Body is the essence of, or spirit of, or infinite being of this body. And I've had the experience. So how many of you have had the experience of running your body and your body is completely 100% vacant, gone? The spirit of your body is gone.
Had that walking.
Feels really light.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. For some of you, we're like so deep in stuff that it's like. So all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around that, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, maybe beyond. How much of the dance of what you're doing in your life is actually you holding a space for your body to become fully actualized in what it's seeking to do as an infinite being?
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. That had some energy on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, maybe yes. And here's a question, a left field. Yes, go for it.
Okay. Earlier on, I was getting that our body is also facilitating our infinite being. And
okay.
Body is facilitating, or our body is also facilitating us. So
yeah,
facilitating us in relative to our infinite beingness.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's not one way. Like we're helping body, body's helping us. We're co-creating. But,
right, but when you're saying how much are you holding space for your body to become an infinite being, and how much is your body holding space for you to become an infinite being?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Aren't we ever evolving?
Okay, so are we evolving?
I mean, well, we're always growing. It's never ever stopping, right?
Yeah.
So
all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that, can we choose to get rid of?
Yes.
Yeah, make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, benai, beyonds.
Could I have some clarity on something?
Sure.
How did all of these questions actually show up as problems or so-called problems in the body? I'm just having trouble tying it together.
Right. We're not there.
Okay.
Are we going to get there on this call?
And the way that
you have to wait a week.
Okay.
We're not going to get there on this call. I'm going to give you homework that is going to
get us there. Okay. Oh, take us there?
That is going to, I believe, take you there.
Awesome.
I was going to do it on this call and then have you repeat it in homework, but like did not work that way, which is cool. So what I'm doing is opening up a bigger paradigm of body and bodies and what's going on, and we're just cracking open the door. Once you start to see inside of here, a whole lot opens up, and a whole lot of I don't want to push any ease in your life, but like things get easier because it's like you get what's going on. How much of the crap that you have in your life is you making up bullshit stories and making you wrong over them?
All.
I'm sorry. I'm going to call it what it is. You're making up this bullshit story because you don't have enough awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Lack of information.
It's a lack of information, and you're using it to make you wrong and then abusing everyone else as you retell the story to everybody else.
Boy, is that ever.
So everything that brings up, and all the shaky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, and can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't tell this story to anyone.
I know. I'm not saying.
I know this is way too weird.
I wasn't talking to you. It was
Okay.
Pronounce, trying to create, vaporize, liquefy, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen. Yeah.
Can you explain something or clarify something?
Yeah.
What are you defining as or what is the difference between the body and the infinite body you're talking about? You seem to be talking about two different bodies in here, and I'm not clear on that.
Everything we've been talking about so far is what I call your inalienable body.
Okay.
Which I'm going to think of as the inalienable being and the inalienable body. And then there's the physical, biological bag of fluids and sticks
that you are.
That the two of you manipulate in this reality. Yeah. Somehow make work. Right? So
it's your first marriage.
So I like Andrew Bart says he calls it your body suit.
Skin suit.
Your skin suit, thank you. Your skin suit.
What? Your physical?
Your physical body. He calls
and
it.
that, and that isn't your inalienable body? Well,
not in the way that I look at it.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's not.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can poke at this and go, okay, like that's organic, and I don't have a difficulty with that. But I'm sure there's layers of that to be teased apart at another level.
Is this what Rosie would call the multidimensional body, the inalienable one?
This is the multidimensional body.
Okay, the skin suit. I wondered about this in the introductions.
Yeah.
So the inalienable body has nothing to do with the physical body?
What if?
Or
what if?
Well,
nothing to do with it?
I feel like I have to go back to preschool here, because I'm the one
you're getting what I'm going at here.
Oh, well.
So it's like, what if the spirit of your body, your inalienable body, was originally just a normal spirit in an animal. And then you came along and said, hey, I can invite you into doing this infinite being thing. Would you like to check that out? And it was like, well, you think I could do that? That could be interesting. Wow, that might, yeah. So tell me about that. And you lured your body to be an infinite being, or you co-created with your body, be an infinite being. And now your body is something more than it was before.
Mm-hmm. That I get.
All the shicky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around everything we've talked about so far. Can we destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah. So make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, vaporize, 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 good, bad, pop, action. Yeah. So a slight shift of gears here. Have you ever spent time and studied in what I call the body realms? It's a place where beings don't generally go. It's like a body shop, pun intended. And the phrase that I was given to use is it's the place where bodies are customized.
Oh my God, can I go back there?
So now
listen,
listen to my question. Sorry. Have you, the infinite being, have ever spent time and studied in the body realms?
Yes.
I get a yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So allow yourself to reconnect to your memories and your experiences that you had studying and learning in the body realms. And expand out, perceive more. And expand out, perceive more. Including behind you and including below you. And expand out, perceive all of it. and all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, Wernicke's commands, booby traps, and any of the crap that's in the way of you just effortlessly connecting with it. Can we destroy and integrate all that?
Yes, I choose.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I choose that. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, make balance. Because when I'm working with people one-on-one, I'll be untangling some particular issue, and I'll find myself in this experience that feels like a dream, where I'm in what feels like a shop of bodies, and you can think of it like the closest thing that I've seen is the movie Avatar, where they have those tanks with the bodies in them. It's like a facility. It's not quite like that. It's more organic, but there's like body stuff going on. It's body building, body designing, body stuff. And I went to study, and I'm having this dream memory of being explained something about how bodies truly function. And then I come back to this moment, and I have a certain awareness that untangles something about what's going on, because we're reviewing it in a way that we were conditioned from this reality through science about how bodies work. Which, what percent of science's understanding of bodies do you know to be complete and total bullshit?
All of it, pretty much.
What percent?
125%.
What do you get? What number do you get?
1,000%.
It's really high volume.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like how
It's
much
their story.
It's totally distortion designed to derail you from the awarenesses that you know to be real and true, so you are incapable of being effective. If you had the slightest inkling of the truth of certain things, you would be able to go, oh yeah, well, I remember back in when I was studying in bodies, like that I could do this and they could do this and change this and change that, and all of a sudden the whole thing would unravel. And
So this is manipulation? They're manipulating the...
how much is this reality and the information presented and force-fed to you not real and true?
Are they doing it purposely because they don't...
No, they're doing it accidentally. They don't understand what they're doing. They're really intentional.
Wow.
No, yes, of course they're doing. Like, now, the people who are perpetrating it, do they have a clue? No, they're just buying
That's
into
what
the
I
same
mean,
story.
right.
Yeah.
No, they don't have a clue. But
Okay,
the people
that's
who originally created it,
Yes. Okay, I got that. Yes.
yeah, cool. So, you start. No, I won't go there now. I won't open a new can of worms. I'm learning. So all the shaky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around all this stuff, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize.
Liquefy.
Good bad. And if you were with me, if you just noticed like a in your universe, you were following me via ESP or through psychic stuff, and you went to where I was going to take you, but I'm not going to. So
yeah, I'm there. My hands waving around, it's like magic.
Yeah, we'll go back there later.
I'm remembering.
Yeah. So allow yourself to reconnect to the time that you spent and studied in the body realms. Whoa.
It's like home.
Yeah. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, and all the barriers and everything and anything in the way of you having full capacity, full access, full recall, full memory of all of your experiences, all of your knowledge, and all of your access to all of the real-time information that is available right here, right now, 24/7, just by your asking for it from the body realms, not the bullshit realms, the body realms. Everything in the way of that, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, maybe honest, let all that stuff go.
Yeah.
And bring in a vacuum. A multi-vac. Okay. And what awareness can you now bring back that would allow you to have a deep and clear understanding of your body, its process, and how you can best nurture and support its process right here, right now.
Yes.
Yes.
And receive.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you run that again?
Yep. What awareness can you now bring back that would allow, what are all the awarenesses that you can now bring back that would allow you to have a deep and clear understanding of your body, its process, and how you can best nurture and support its process?
Yes.
And receive.
Wow.
Jaden, it feels like there's agreements to be broken here or something.
Cool. So allow yourself to perceive all the agreements that prevent you from having easy, simple, effortless access to this information to your simple advantage. Anything that would inhibit, prevent, block, stop, shortcut, manipulate, derail, or in any way obfuscate this information or your connections. All of the entry agreements, exit agreements, allegiances, alliances, loyalties, assemblies, incarnational agreements. Wow.
Hidden agendas.
Hidden agendas, divine agreements, golden handcuffs, billion trillion year agreements. And everything. And thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And everything known, unknown, spoken, unspoken, unknowable, and unspeakable. Across all time, space, dimensions, realities, beyonds. Can we destroy and create all that stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, vaporize, liquefy, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, papakshama, beyond. And truth, what has your body been withholding from you because you had not previously chosen to stand in the magnitude of these viewpoints? Like you didn't know enough, so body couldn't reveal things to you. What has your body been withholding from you because you had not previously chosen to stand in the magnitude of these viewpoints? Just receive that. Don't tangle with it. Just receive it. And do you choose it now?
I
choose it now.
I choose it.
And do you now choose to receive all these awarenesses that your body has for you?
Yes, I choose
betcha.
that.
Yeah. And allow yourself now to receive. Just say, touch your heart and say, receive.
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 Now you're talking.
Wow. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, and all of the stack stringers, implants, hooks, and triggers around any and all of any and all of any and all of this stuff, known, unknown, named, unnamed, unnameable, unknowable, can we choose to destroy and create all of that stuff?
Yes,
I choose that.
Yes, I choose this.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, vaporize, 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 liquefy, 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 good, bad, right, wrong, papakshama, beyonds. And how my body, what my, so I'm going to ask for no questions from here on. So what my body, after I opened this up for me, what my body suggested is that I start looking at clearing in terms of what is my body's stuff and what is my stuff. So when stuff comes up, I'm like, okay, so how much of this is being stuff? How much of this is this the infinite body? I'm going to use the phrase infinite body, but you use whatever phrase you want, inalienable body, but you get what I'm saying now, the infinite being of your body. So it's like what I noticed is when I started doing that, there's a lot of clearing that I was doing before from a narrow paradigm that came from the modalities of my past that were living in a smaller space than I actually live in. And I kept clearing within that narrow paradigm because that was the paradigm. What I'm inviting you into is opening up that paradigm to body and being, and like really start teasing out what is body stuff, what is being stuff, and engaging awareness around clearing stuff in the body domain, in your inalienable body. It's like, you got it involved in this infinite being thing. You might want to help it out a little bit. So everything, all that brought up, because that brought up some interesting things. So all the sick, stupidity, unconscious, anti-conscious, and all the really interesting points of view that brought up. And anything else, can we destroy and create it?
Yes.
Yes. We send a book you can't reclaim right now. So now it's just trying to
Liquefy.
vaporize,
Vaporize.
vaporize, good, bad, and action beyond. And that leads me to the other thing that Body recommended for me personally, and see what's like for you, is that I use liquefy for the body, because the body's being is so liquid based, and it processes itself that way, even in its infinite being. Whereas I, the infinite being, process more on a particle form. So it's like, whatever, those are just my stories. Those are my whatever. But to explore with liquefy for getting rid of body stuff, I do both. I'll do liquefy and vaporize. But like play with, and there might be another word that your body prefers. But start playing with, like, what does your body prefer for releasing body stuff? And I'm going to give you an exercise that, and you may want to try it on your own, but I'm going to give it to you as a home play partner exercise. And that is to go through the resolving fractures, alters, containers. Looks like that. And do it on your body fractures. This is something, thank you, Michael, for your contribution when you opened that up. Holy shit, did that rock my world. Oh my God, I couldn't believe how much energy I felt. I won't go into stories. Let's just
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please pay me for it. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. There you go. There you go. There you go. Take that. Are you taking
Cool, thanks. I take it. Whoa.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you. There you go. That's quite a stack there, isn't it? Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. That's enough. Thank you so much for sharing.
No, take more. So you didn't take all that. Take that. There you go.
Okay, thanks. No, I haven't.
So it's like a little window here. We feed money back and forth through this window. You could do that.
Yeah, right.
Money.
Share the wealth.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's macho.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? So as soon as he did that, did that blow open stuff. I did that clearing, and this information, these questions came out. Body walked me to the computer and had me type out these questions that I just did to you today. That's the flow. So what I was going to do to you is do these questions and then have you clear the fracture stuff, or do it the other way around, but it came out this way, and cool. So for home play, and feel free to do it on your own if you like, or wait for your partner, to actually do it on your body's fractures and leave that open as to what that means, whether it's fractures of the physicalness of your body, which could include clones and copies. That my brain kind of goes, maybe that kind of is somehow a way of quantifying that, or I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But your body stuff and your infinite body, your infinite being, your body's infinite being fractures. Okay, so focus, do the rundown on your body, not you, the infinite being. Does that make sense?
So the question is still the same, right?
It's you run through the same thing.
Right. Okay.
You may find other things, but I just ran through the same thing. I've done this now 3 or 4 times, and it's different. You know you're doing it's different. So the other thing that I add to it, and you'll find it in the home play, there's a printout, is then do a clearing of what gets in the way of your body having full capacity to express itself. What prevents your body from opening up its mouth and just speaking whatever it feels like? What prevents your body from just sitting down at the computer or writing out on a piece of paper what it feels about something? What prevents your body from just flat out telling you what's really going on?
Yippee.
Okay? So allow yourself, that brings up some stuff. So everything that brought up, so all the Wernicke's commands, booby traps, wow, Shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, programming, conditioning, and anything else that's been activated or triggered here in you. So how much of what's been activated and triggered has been activated and triggered in the being domain, and how much has been activated and triggered in the body domain?
Lots in the body.
Notice the difference there. So, and I don't have an attachment to where it lies. I'm just paying attention now to what's showing up where, and that's giving me information. So everything that all of that is, can you and your body now choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes,
I choose that.
So does I choose that or do we choose that?
Oh, we choose
We
that.
choose.
Yeah.
So ask your body, do you choose that?
Body choose.
Body choose that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everything that is, can we destroy and create it all?
Yes.
We can do that. Yes.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, recount, reclaim, renounce, destroy and create, vaporize, liquefy, liquefy,
We
liquefy,
used to do
liquefy,
that.
liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, shorts, business, nines, beyond. Wow, feel the shift of that. Wow. That's clearing with a focus towards body. We paid attention to body. I asked body, do you want to clear this? And I waited for body to participate. And then we cleared that together, and I also added liquefy. Okay, so that's what I'm noticing that I'm doing differently. And this is 2 days old for me, so this is a whole new.
This is stolen from me, so pay me for it, please. I have this like for 3 days.
Yep. Here you go. Here you go. Take it. Hey, everybody, you can take it too. Everybody, get a copy. There you go. Take it in. Oh, more.
Who wants a copy?
Whole stack. There you go. Well, you get the original, but you get your copy. So you have 2 homework assignments. One is to do this resolving fracture on body and clearing what blocks communications. And that's going to bring up a host of things. Clear that. Like, have fun with that. And it may take multiple, whatever. Do what you do with that. And then the second home play is a setup for next week. I want to take you into the topic of relationships. And I know of no better person to open that door than Edie Lorgan, who has spent her life researching this, both in physical and in working with other people, and she's written books on it. And I've got 2 audio programs that I'd like you to listen to. And then next week, we're going to talk about relationships. And wrap up any body things, so we'll do that too. But the main focus I want to start is looking at the things of relationships, and I think this is really going to open your eyes to your past relationships. So go through this and start kind of mulling over your past relationships and kind of look for where the pattern she's talking about in the manipulation she's found may have been involved in your reality as well.
Jaden?
Yes.
I hear a audio. I hear you doing an audio of clearings for the body that would support us in what we did today.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me sit with that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just
question.
Yeah, no, that was an expansion.
I just said that was subtle.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
It was so subtle. And if this wasn't enough, there's something about the number 9 that, like, I happen to get off on. I don't know. I'm giving you more, but wait, there's more. Because you enrolled early today on our call, I'm giving you this week's cards, too, in advance, not a week late. The cards that I'm giving you this week, I won't read now because it'll rock your world, and I'm not going to do it now. But you're going to like these cards. So this is a really cool week. Week 9 is an awesome week.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let me just tap in and see what else that I want to do to resolve cleanup here. Wow. There's a little bit of expansion that occurred on today's call. So
I have a happy body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay! So all the shit you, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around any of the topics, mine is too. My body's all, I love it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So all the shit you, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, around any and all of the topics that we've engaged or opened up today in any way, shape, or form, and anything else that's gotten opened or triggered or activated that is based in manipulation in any way, shape, or form, any agreements that you have connected to that limit or block or prevent or kick up problems for you in any way, shape, or form, anything that does not work to your simple advantage, with your simple ease, can we choose to destroy and create? So do you, the being, choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
I choose that.
that.
And do you, the body, choose to destroy and create all that?
I choose that.
Yes.
Yes, my body chooses that too.
Yes, we
Yeah.
choose it.
Yeah, we choose that. And so everything that all that is, rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make null and void, as a sovereign being, sovereign body, sovereign planet, sovereign universe, as a free will universe, times a godzillion, make null, void, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, vaporize, liquefy. Yeah! Hey! And let all that
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all night.
and good, bad, bad, pop, action, let it down. And let's bring in a mega una polyvac, or I don't know, some big vac, a big vaca.
A shop
Big vaca. And just down around the toes.
All the cracks.
And in between.
What if
Watch
body,
that dangly thing in front, though.
What's that, Rosie?
I said, watch that dangly thing in front.
Yeah, you want to be careful how you vacuum the dangly thing in front, guys.
I saw that in a Penthouse magazine years ago.
Yeah,
It
works.
Wow. Oh, okay. Speaking from
So here I am triggering shit when I'm trying to wrap up the call. Thank you. Okay. So, and that was Jaden doing that. Thank you. But you baited me. You guys baited me. So everything that brought up, can we choose to just try and create all that?
You have choice.
I know I do. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so weak in that area. Everything all that is, can we choose to try and create?
It's getting deeper.
I
Yes.
know. Can't reclaim, renounce, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, good, bad, wrong, pop, action, balance. And so let's just kind of put ourselves on mute, and let's do a receiving.
Thank you, Jaden.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And so mute, and just allow yourself full spectrum receive, full bandwidth receive for both your body. You're newly aware of your infinite being body, and you, the infinite being of you, and of the physicalness of your body. And anything else, known, unknown, and all of it. And everywhere I've limited, I just try and create all that. Yeah, and just receive. and allow yourself to receive from the body realms. It's kind of the place where bodies go to get things that they desire and require, like the body auto parts store. Allow yourself to receive anything that your body desires or requires, or that you desire or require, or that the realm itself desires or requires to gift to you. Wow. So I'd like to let you in on, I have a secret that I've been keeping from you. Since the beginning, I have actually not only been working with you, the infinite being, but have also been actively communicating with your body. And your body, my body, has also been actively communicating with the body. It's the reason for the video. It's to give body another avenue to play with you, to communicate with your body. I'd like to welcome formally your body to the call as now an active participant instead of a secret participant. Thank you, bodies, for joining us on this call, for joining me on this call. It's been such an honor for me to work in this body realm. I feel like, wow, this has been so fucking cool. So thank you, bodies, for doing this dance with us, for us, co-creating with us. And I'm getting mushy, so I'm going to stop. But thank you. I start tangling myself into stuff. So, but welcome to the calls, body. From now on, I would like to formally extend a process that when we do clearing, that we're doing body and being together. So, yeah. So with that, I'd like to.
Thanks for holding our bodies.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Body really likes it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So enjoy your new play. I've just doubled your universe. You get to use tools with twice the fun.
Yeah.
So enjoy your new play this week. Feel free to put questions in Facebook, and we'll catch you in Facebook on next week's call.
Oh.
And let's do 1, 2, 3 wahoo. So if you want to unmute yourself. And ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wahoo from Corinna.
Hello from Corinna. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Body says bye.